This is Shelby Tuck Horton. We are in the second webinar in our back to school series for our ABC members. Tonight, so many of us have been waiting for Cathy to present on this topic of reels, glorious reels, because some of us have been like just enjoying other people's reels because they're just not going to do it. I am excited to have her. I love whenever I ask her to do something, she says yes. She and Joanne are like two of my favorite people in the whole wide world, because whenever I go to them with kooky ideas or ask them to do something, they always say yes. So I am so grateful to have you here. I am going to stop talking. I have my paper, my paper for my notes. I have a lot of paper so that I could take notes. So I'm going to be quiet and turn it over to you, Cathy.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to acknowledge I've noticed like Carmen is tuned in and stuff like this. But just sending out positive thoughts and vibes to, I'm going to say, our members in Puerto Rico and Atlantic Canada and stuff who've been hit so hard by Fiona. And I know our Florida members are about to get pounded here and things like that. So just taking a moment to send positive thoughts and vibes your way. And I'm really impressed that you tuned in tonight and stuff like this. So hopefully you're able to stay safe and such like that. I'm just now turning this on. Share the screen. And all right. So tonight we are talking about reels, glorious reels. For some people, they're on board, they get it. Other people, it is the bane of their existence. So I'm going to try and present it. I'm trying to do it a bit more, take a step back and ease into it, give lots of examples and stuff like this, and strategies that you can break into this slowly but surely. And as I said before, a couple people were talking, there's also ways to make reels that you don't have to appear on videos. So to just get started, a little bit about me, I taught middle school band and choir for 15 plus years. After working with a psychotic principal, I quit my teaching job and took my certification to become a wedding planner. I ended up opening my business, Creative Weddings Planning and Design, in the fall of 2008, right in the middle of a recession, because that's the best time to start a business. I learned a heck of a lot. Anyways, I plan weddings in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. For some of you who aren't sure, if you go to Montana and then drive about 4 hours north, that's where I am. We're also right by the Canadian Rockies. So I actually do a number of weddings out in Banff and Lake Louise. And this is actually the 14th year of my wedding business. I joined the Association of Bridal Consultants in September 2008. And I learned a lot of what I know about marketing and social media through trial and error, and as well, a lot of online courses, conference sessions, things like that I've taken over the years. In 2017, I started teaching wedding professionals how to use social media to effectively market their business under the Someday Consulting brand. I also do social media management and business coaching for wedding related businesses. So people actually hire me to do their social media. And because I already know about all the wedding stuff, often they can just send me the pictures and the vendors, and I can make their life super easy. I've been helping Veronica with the ABC social media for a couple of years now, but in August of this past year, I officially became the social media manager for ABC. So if you have great weddings that you want to share or things like that, please send them our way. There's a form on the ABC Wedding Planner site, because I'd love to share the great things that our members are doing. Anyways, enough about that. Reels, what are they and why are they so important? So basically, reels were created by Instagram to combat the TikTok's video sensation that began early on in the pandemic. People were home and they were bored and they wanted something to do, okay? And we've all seen it. We see the people doing the dancing and stuff like that. And for a lot of us, that is beyond our comfort zone. That is really not what we want to do, but some people do it really, really well, okay? Basically, they're a video that is like 3 seconds to 90 seconds long. Okay, originally they couldn't be more than 15 seconds. Then it went to 30, 60, but now they're up to 90 seconds. Okay, I'm going to note right now that yes, you have up to 90 seconds, but generally the reels that do best are 15 seconds or less. Okay, just something you might want to make a note of. As I said, there's different ones and reasons that we'll get into why some you might want to go longer, but 15 seconds or less, it represents the attention span that most people have nowadays. Okay, so it's the short attention span, so we've got to do something and keep it short or they get distracted. Most posted content, so when you put a picture up on Instagram, or it could still be a video, a carousel post, anything like that, most of those posts are shared for less than 24 hours. And a lot of them never make it to the Explore page. What makes Reels different is they can be shared up to 2 weeks later. Like you could still find somebody's content for a reel that they posted 2 weeks ago or more. And that is because Instagram is still really promoting Reels, okay? They're not as big as they once were. Like basically, there was a point where if anybody posted a reel, it would be up for 2 weeks or more, okay? It does rely on the algorithm and how people are interpreting it and whether they like it or not and things that way. But generally, as I said, you get way more, I'm going to say bang for the buck with a reel and that potential for it to be seen. As I said, it could be like, okay, not a lot of response. And all of a sudden 2 weeks later, it goes crazy because it hit the right people on the right day and they're sharing it and such like that. Adam Mosseri, who's the head of Instagram, he confirms that the IG platform promotes Reels more than any other type of content. So this means Instagram is taking extra measures to share your content with potential new viewers at no additional cost to you. AKA, that means free marketing, okay? So we want to take advantage often of those opportunities, okay? I don't believe in trying to make a square peg fit a round hole. So if the head of Instagram is telling me this is what you need to do in order to get your content seen more, to me, it just makes sense. Let's give them what they want, okay? We can argue and we can fight the system, but it's not going to get us anywhere, okay? Instagram, I think most people are aware, it doesn't show everything that you post to your audience. Like Leslie, if I went to your Instagram page, I would see everything that you have put on there and posted. But in a general showing, when it puts your stuff in the scroll, not everything is shown, okay? But your reels will, because they're getting extra push from the Instagram algorithm and platform, your reels get seen more, okay? The other thing that's kind of cool now in the United States, not here in Canada, but Instagram is actually paying people to make reels. So you can sign up with a business account and start getting money for posting reels, okay? It's probably not going to be significant, especially if you're just starting out, but sometimes some money is better than no money. So it is something to think about and things that way, but that option's not available to Canadians yet. Okay, want to start out with a quick little reel. This is one that we did for an event. Okay, and as I said, reels are just the same as any other form of content that you post. You want it to speak to your ideal client. What does your client want to see? Okay, and when I say your ideal client, we're saying it's an imaginary client, but that's the person that you connect best with, okay? A lot of us can say, well, I can do almost any type of wedding. But the fact is, there are some clients that we meet up with, and it's just like the stars have aligned. And we love their ideas, we love what they value, and they love what we do. And it's the kind of client that goes, oh my gosh, you read my mind and stuff like that. That's what we want. So this is when you create content, no matter what kind of content it is, you always want to create content that's speaking to that client. So it's so important to figure them out. In addition to the actual video reel, you want to also include a caption. So that's the written part, that usually the text that appears below or after the photo or the video. And you want to have a call to action. The other thing that's really important nowadays is that text, not the text that appears in the video, but the text that's in the caption is searchable. So we talk about search engine optimization. So when people are typing in search terms, those are now also visible. So we want to make sure that caption has some of that information so that more people can find us. Okay. We also want to make sure there's some hashtags there. Okay. Hashtags, same thing, used to get tons of visibility and stuff like that. There's not as big attraction as much anymore, but they're still really important, and you still want to include some. And once again, it's one more way that people could possibly look you up and find you. So let's start quickly with this quick reel. Okay, there we go. I think it's what, 6 or 7 seconds long. I think, actually, to be fair, I was frustrated with a client who wanted a big flower arch like this, but she was shocked when I told her there was a $6,500 price tag for it, because she had no she saw a nice picture on Pinterest or Instagram, but had no concept of it. So the caption there, or the reel, was showing it. Just to tell you really quickly, when I did that setup, I took my iPad, I put it down, and I set it on time lapse. So, when you're trying to take a picture or video, you have different settings. There's photo and video. One is called time lapse. And what it does is it takes a picture, I think it's like it's either like every 15 seconds, every 30 seconds, or every minute. And then when you play it, it looks like it's in fast motion that way and stuff. Okay. To just even include the caption. Ever wonder what it's like when you have a big major installation on a wedding day? Take a glimpse of this incredible floral arch we created for an amazing, there's the venue wedding, 6 staff and 4.5 hours to set up. And that was with many of the floral pieces already arranged in advance. So they just had to be mounted on the arch and have additional flowers filled in. This is part of the reason some installations have a hefty price tag attached. Okay. We're providing information to a client. Okay. The other thing that is, I consider it to be like critical, but here's saying who are some of the vendors. And when I tag them, you'll note they have the @ in front, because I want those vendors to get a note that I'm sharing this concept, because they might share the same thing as well. I also, be honest, I think it's common courtesy to do that, to recognize your vendors and stuff, but you want to make sure you do this, because it also alerts them that they were tagged. Okay. The other, and that's what we're saying, be sure to tag them, because they may share it as well. Okay. Types of content that makes for great reels. And once again, I want to just give you a few examples. Before and after, things like wedding decor, hair and makeup, getting dressed. You see the ones with the bride and the bridesmaid standing there in their little fancy robes, and then they all jump at the same time or something, and then they're all dressed in their wedding finery. Okay, those kind of things. Okay, the wedding decor before and after, they might be panning the room, and they pan and a blank empty slate. They get to halfway, and all of a sudden you see the full decor effects and stuff like that. So those are great ways and ideas to film. Wedding day highlights can be a combo of photos and videos. So here is another one to just take a quick look at. Okay, and once again, listing all your vendors and recognizing them. As I said, I'm a little anal retentive on that one, but I try to make sure it's always there. And this kind of content in the video, once again, is not search engine optimized. It would be what you write in the caption, that is. Okay. I'm also going to give a premise. I'm trying to show you a bunch of different real examples. Some are mine, some are not. I by no means, like, I don't get millions of hits on my reels or something like that. So it's not that I think I'm like the world's leading expert on that, but I'm trying to show you different ways that you could create a reel related to things that you have done on for events. Because also part of the trick is making sure you take that moment to grab some of that video as well as photos, okay? None of those were the photographer's photos yet, okay? Those are just things that I grabbed with my iPhone. Make sure you wipe the camera off and there's not a film on top of it. But as I said, grab those throughout the day so that you have something to work with. Another one, ironically, is I'm going to say experiences. So for example, I've done ones where I'm at the Sandals Resort and I'm showing what the silent disco is when they wear the headphones and stuff. This was a culinary one that we went to an event for wedding planners, and there was a cake designer who did this dessert thing. So you got to wait for it. Now, unfortunately, my chocolate fell on top of the dessert, so you didn't see it as well as some of the other people's worked out, but it still gets the overall impact, okay? So once again, this could be a reel that you do that is sharing what you might want to do if you have a intimate wedding. I'm not sure this would work for 200 plus people and things like that, but to show people some ideas what's possible. Okay, educational, how to. You choose any topic, but keep that information less than 90 seconds. Okay, that's another really easy way to do a reel. And I'll show you one that's like that. Behind the scenes, regular day tasks and things that are on event day. Okay, there is a girl, not a girl, she's a woman wedding planner in Alaska. And I remember she did a video or reel on the 5 different pairs of shoes she wore on a wedding day. So she took a picture of the shoes on her feet, like her running shoes that she says she drives to the event. And then it was a wet setup. So she showed her picture of her rubber gum boots on. And then she showed the shoes she wore for the ceremony. And then she showed the shoes that she changed into when she still had to move a bunch of stuff. And then the reception shoes, and then back to the running shoes at the end of the night to do it. And as I said, it's little things like that that sometimes it gives people a glimpse into what life is like for a wedding planner. Like most people wouldn't think of that. It's kind of interesting, but it's something that shows reality, what happens when you got to be on your feet 14 plus hours a day. Vendor shout outs, the people that make you look good and support your vendors. So for example, you may have an incredible florist that you like to work with. So you might put together pictures of or video of different flowers that they've done and just do a reel talking about what a pleasure it is to work with them and do that. Like, what florist isn't going to love to see that? And furthermore, are they going to want to share something like that on their account? Okay, once again, when you think of those kind of things and you make sure you tag them, they're going to probably want to use something like that as well. Cute special moments from the day. Okay, we talk about sometimes, you know, the first kiss. Maybe it's you're doing a little bit of video when the couples are, if they're sharing cards given to each other, that first dance, little things like that. Wedding tips and advice are also always really good ones. All right. This is another one. This is a reel, and I've included, you may want to write down the name, this at Brit J. She does a lot that are this way. I'll show you the reel first. It's short, be ready. There we go, that's it. It's a whopping 3 seconds long, but what it's showing you really fast, she's added some text to it. Put your wedding hashtag on your table number so guests can easily see it and use it as they post photos throughout the night. And all she does is zoom in on the card to show what it is. And then this is really important. This is what we call a call to action. She's saying, save this idea for your wedding. Okay. Basically, people engage with social media in about 4 ways, okay? They can like something, they can comment on it, they can save it, or they share it. The saves and the shares rank a little bit higher in the algorithm, okay? So when people are saving pictures they like, or reels, or videos, but save this information means, and it's telling them exactly to do that. So, oh yeah, this was a good idea, I may want to use this, and they do that. So including a call to action in the caption part, which is the text, as well as maybe in your reel, is a really good idea, okay? And it's sort of also saying them keep things for inspiration. One of the things that I like to do is I watch other people's reels for ideas and inspiration. I'm not encouraging you to copy, but try to put your own spin on it. Okay, so the fact is, you could literally almost recreate this reel. If she posts it on a Tuesday, I probably wouldn't try posting it on the Wednesday. I would probably, if I were going to do something similar, maybe do it a couple of months later or something like that. But sometimes you see this and you realize a different idea you might like. As I said, this is just one little tip. If you were to sit there and brainstorm some tips to share, what little things like this could be there? It's even it could be something like, how long should your first kiss at the ceremony be? Okay. Do people want, if they want to take a photo of all the wedding guests at the ceremony, when's the best time to do it and how? Okay, so something like that. But as I said, put those ideas and keep them. I like to save reels in there's that option to, what we just said is save for reference. It's that little bookmark. It's sort of like a square at the top and then triangular points like a cut ribbon. You can save it. You can save ideas into folders. And I have one that's called Reel Ideas. Okay. But you can do that and save that for when you are like, what the heck should I post? Here is another one I want to give you. This KMC wedding, she is a member of ABC as well. And she'll do a style shoot. And she says, how much does it cost to create this table design? So let me show you what she does with her team.
How much did it cost to create this table design?
Now, once again, so first of all, to me, I love these kind of ones because once again, it's educating your client to make them understand that while those Pinterest photos look really good, there is a price tag that goes with it. So you're giving them that reality check. The other thing that I think is important here, and you'll notice at the end here, she puts, once again, it's what we call a call to action. Like and follow along for more wedding inspo and tips. So someone could be scrolling through and they find this video and they catch her attention and they watch it, but she's sending that gentle reminder, like, if you want more stuff like this, follow me. This is how you start gaining more people in your tribe or your audience, okay? This is also by the same person. This is what we call trending audio, which is using a soundbite that's created by someone else.
Wait, are you talking about this style or this style? Because I can also do like this style if you were talking about this. Or I don't know if you're talking about this style, because this one's kind of, but I don't know, maybe this one, was it maybe more streetwear style, or this style you're talking about?
Okay, once again, a really simple video. We're using that trending sound. That's not the person talking. They picked it off some, I'm going to say, TV show or someone's interview or whatever. and they've got that there, but they're just trying to showcase different things that they've done and showcase their design. And there isn't, I don't think any of them are even video, they're all photos. Okay, so that's a great way. This is a perfect way. Here's an example of one that you do not have to show your face in. Okay, so you can use that to do that.
Wait, are you talking about this style?
Okay, so how do we use the trending sounds? Okay, trending as it sounds is sound bites. Your job is to just add the video to it. Okay, so you've got to find the sound bite first. This could be you lip syncing, no dancing. You don't have to do, well, you could if you want, but you don't have to do any dancing. But lip syncing or using a situation or event to create a reel.
Yeah, I have 2 rules. Oh, okay. Rule number 1, always have fun. Rule number 2, listen to rule number 1.
So once again, I remember seeing it. I heard it. I was like, okay, I can use that. And if I remember correctly, this is for my Sunday consulting and stuff. And I'll be honest, I think it was about, and it says, check out the caption for more, but it was on using content. Okay. To do this, basically you want to, if you are watching someone's video and you're like, I could use that sound, you have to, at the bottom here, right down here under your name, and when you have to, I'm going to use the phrase open the reel in full format. So oftentimes you're just scrolling along and they'll show a smaller version of the reel. But when you click on the reel, it opens it up and takes up the full screen. When you do that, at the bottom, there is a sound file. Okay. And then when I click on that sound file, this screen here opens up. Okay. So it's saying original audio, Tiny Feelings with an S on the end is the name of that audio file. They show you the original that was done. And then they show you all the examples of people who've used the same file. So mine would be buried in there somewhere. Okay. As I said, sometimes those sound files are great ways to do it. Sometimes skipping through them and looking at some of the other reels too that use that may give you an idea. The top one, save audio. This allows you to save the audio for future use. Okay, once again, this is a great way to keep track of ideas for future content ideas. The second one is at the bottom that says use audio. This allows you to select the audio right away to film a reel. Okay. So if I want to do that, so once again, you contemplate different things. Okay, I got to lip sync it, and you're going to adjust your other content. But when I click that use audio button, it's going to open up, and I'm going to see this reel. This is what we call the main reel menu screen. Okay. And maybe just to go over really quick, this music notes is if you were to choose, like if you wanted to choose a specific song on a reel, that would be what you choose to type it in. The next one, the stars, is kind of like filters. I'll be honest, I don't use a lot of them. Some people love them. This one times you can speed up or slow down your video. Once again, it's not something I use a lot. There's a bit of a template, but in this one, we want the timer, and the timer is the most important if you're going to use a sound file, because it's going to give us a countdown, which we almost want to prep beforehand. It automatically sets to 3-second countdowns. You can choose more time or less. So when I choose it, for example, that's the next screen when I push this set timer button. It goes to 3 seconds automatically. And then I'm going, and actually what it'll do is it's going to replay that sound clip for a while. Okay. And I want to listen to that sound clip because I want to kind of practice saying the words to it. I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm lip syncing, but I need to understand the timing of it. Okay. Is there a break or anything like that in order for me to make that work? Okay. Then I push the set timer button. As I said, practice with it until it feels right. Okay, that could be 8 times, 10 times. It's going to keep playing that clip over and over again. This is the next part. We go back. And when you're ready to film it, you're going to push this center button, which starts recording. Okay. Now, I'm going to be really honest. When I film a lot of my reels, I film them outside of the Instagram platform and I add the video later. Okay. I don't usually do it as much within the app normally because it's harder to edit that way. Okay. And then when I choose to add video or add photos, this is the button here at the bottom that allows me to do that. When I hit that button, it opens up my phone and I can see the videos and I can upload them in order and it allows me to add them. But when I say set timer and then I go with the sound bites, you have to do it within Instagram. When I push this button, it's going to give me a countdown and it's going to be a big 3 and then 2 and then it's going to be 1. But whereas we would normally expect to go at 0, the trick is you've got to wait till it hits 1 and it hits 1 and then you start. So 3, 2, 1, and normally we would wait for 0. But if you're trying to do a soundbite, start as soon as it hits the number 1 and you'll sync up. I don't know why it works this way. It just does. So take my word for that. Okay. Original content reels is one of the other ones. This one, yes, you have to show your face on. Okay. These are ones, and actually trending reels used to be really popular. They still are. Okay. But original audio reels are getting way more exposure and being pushed on Instagram right now. Okay. So what makes this great is this is a chance for you to share your expertise. And once again, you want to choose something that is, that's relevant. Okay. This is great news for content creators and business owners. It gives you that opportunity to share valuable information, tips and advice with your clients. So for example, in this one, you got to figure out what you want to talk about. Okay. You want to practice what you want to say, like have it kind of figured out. I'm not sure you want to write it out verbatim, but I would definitely suggest you at least do a point form bullet list. Okay. You want to keep it simple and direct. You want to make sure it's less than 90 seconds. Okay. Yes, you can film a video that's longer, but it's not going to count as a reel. The other thing is sometimes like I'll write it out in point form on like a Word document and I'll just have it up on my computer screen right behind where I'm filming my reel on my phone. There's free teleprompter software out there as well if you want. The trick is you have to try to make it not look like you're doing this all the time as you're reading it. Okay. I was looking at something on I was going to say in a course and it was talking about budgets. And once again, I think I had a client who was, the parents were kind of going back and forth and fighting about who should be paying for what. And it made me ticked, but instead of complaining about it, I made a reel. So we're not going to watch all of it because it'll take a longer time, but here we go.
And today I want to talk to you a little bit about who pays for what. So we'll start back in medieval times. The bride's family had a dowry for when their daughters got married, and it was actually the grooms and their groom's family's responsibility to put on the wedding celebration in peace and assume all costs associated with that. Now, fast forward a couple of hundred years in that, and things changed significantly, and now it's the responsibility moved to the bride's family. So it was the bride's mother often, along with the bride herself, and they would plan the wedding with the groom and the groom's family had little input.
Okay, we don't have to watch the whole thing. You will notice that I pause. You will notice that I kind of stumble over words sometimes. All right. It is totally okay to do that. Okay. It's something that you get better at with time. But you don't have to worry about being perfect. Okay. Yes, I say in there a few times as well. Okay. So don't get over that part that feels you have to be perfect. Okay. The other thing you'll see is we're going to talk a little bit later is what these are called closed captions. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how to put those in and make it easy because some people watch reels on silent. And if they had it silent, they'd never hear any of it, but this allows them to hear it. Okay. The other thing is realize that, as I said, I like to film on a separate video that I can upload. You can still take a longer video like this and upload it in chunks. Okay. And by that, for example, in this one, I talked about the groom's family originally paying for it in medieval times. Then I talked about the bride's family. And then the third part was today's couples usually own a lot of their wedding budget expenses. They may receive some help from the family, but especially if you get tongue-tied a lot, sometimes it might be easier to film it in 3 short segments and then just put those videos together. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, if you watch any TV or movie, look at how many times they change the background in the screen. It's less than 20 seconds usually between when they switch it. Sometimes it's 10 seconds. So don't feel you have to do it perfectly in one take.
And today we're talking.
All right, ways to enhance your reels. This is this closed captions, okay? So as I said, a lot of people are watching the reels on silent when they're at work, okay? It's not our job whether to say people should be on their phones at work or not. That's their choice. But we also want to make it easy for people to consume our content. If you do not provide the words, you are going to lose a portion of your audience. Some people can add them manually. So this is another screen we see within the things. This one here is if you want to add text on the screen. This one is if you want to draw, like if you wanted to draw an oval around something like this. This one here opens the screen that was over here. So that's to add GIFs, to add captions, polls, questions like that. This is if you want to talk over part of the sound. And this is if you want to save the video. It'll often save the video without sound. In Instagram, it's related to copyright and infringement and stuff. That's why it happens. But just so we know what that menu is. So by adding closed captions, it'll automatically translate your words into text that scrolls in line with your video. So when I added the closed captions, I don't have to worry about the timing. It just does it automatically. But it only works on reels with original audio. So when I am speaking, that's when it'll pick up on that. If I was to do a song, like have a reel that's including a song in the background, it won't pick up the lyrics for that song. It won't pick up, we had that trending audio with there's 2 rules. Rule number 1, always have fun. Okay, it wouldn't pick up those words. It'll only pick it up is if you're speaking them. Okay. After you add the video to your reel, you click next. And when you click this next button here at the bottom, this screen to the right opens up. Okay. And choose the features graphic. So there's the features at the top. And then I choose captions. It'll take a few seconds, but it'll automatically upload them. You can shrink them. You can move them around the page to where that's best. If you're going to add captions, though, you want to think in your video how you want to position yourself so that the captions aren't over your face. So you might want to be more on one side of the screen more than the other. Okay. Those are things that you do as you get better at it. It's not something that they always expect from a beginner. All right. All right. Ways to enhance your reels. Change the length of time of a photo or video clip. So I talked about, and I showed you the reel where I took different pictures and video from one of my wedding days and I put them in. So when you add a photo, Instagram automatically sets it for 5 seconds. To change it, you have to edit the length. Or sometimes you have a video, but you don't want all of the video. You just want a part of it. So once I add the photos to it, I click to the next. And when it's that same screen here at the top that has the putting in words or text or things like this, at the bottom here is edit clips. When I click that, so as I said, first of all, you add all the photos and videos to your reel, preferably in the order you want them to. You can change it around, but it's easier to do it right first of all. And then when you click this next button, this screen here opens up. And down here at the bottom is the pictures of the photos and the videos in the order that I've got them appearing. Okay. So to select the photos or videos, you choose the edit clips, and then you choose the one that you want to edit. Okay. Very rarely would you see someone put a photo on for 5 seconds. The ones I showed you, I think I changed most of them to a second. If it's a prominent one that's like the cover page or the end, I might choose 2 seconds. Okay. When I open and I'm editing that video, what happens is there's usually a trim length. So there's 2 sides to it, here and here. If it's a photo, nothing's going to change in it. So all I have to do is take this end and drag it back. And there's a counter right there to let me know exactly where I'm at. Okay. If I'm doing a video, and once again, I may have a part where, for example, I'm pushing the button and I'm quiet for a moment. I want to trim that part out, and then I want to trim the end. But whatever you do, you can trim it and adjust your length in here. When I'm done, I just go back here to all clips, and it takes me back to the previous screen, and I can go on with editing. Hint, sometimes you got to play with the timing a bit. So I'll maybe watch it, and is it lining up with the beats on the music or something like that? And I'll double check it, and I might have to make adjustments and do it again, but you've got to play with it a little bit. Oops. So that one I posted yesterday on the ABC site. Allie down in Wisconsin does these incredible weddings. But one of the things that I really liked is, if you notice, it started off slow. So she took the first couple of pictures from the wedding day and she did it slow. And then it went really quite fast and it matched the music. Okay. This is not necessarily a beginner technique, but it's showing you what's possible. And you can do that and make sure that your wedding footage is lining up a bit with your music. All right, posting recommendations. Choose an image for the reel cover and your profile feed. Okay, your profile image appears on your regular feed. So there's a button that you can look at just reels. But when I look at my main feed, this allows your reels to be integrated into it. Okay. So when I'm doing the reel, I get to the final screen. This here is where we write our caption. This is where you add people. You can put a location and things, but I push this edit cover and this opens up to this screen here. So this is what appears on the reels screen on your profile page. So it's that full, I don't know what it is. I can't remember, but whatever the dimensions are that automatically come up in Canva, that's what it is. If I want to change where it is in the video, I can scroll here and do this from the bottom. If I have a specific graphic that I created that I want to use as a title page, I can hit this add from camera roll and add it in. I just got to make sure it's on my phone before I do that. When I hit profile grid, it shows the smaller squares. And then I want to maybe just position this right in that square and make sure like it's not showing like the top of my head being cut off or something like that. All right. Come on. Nope, it won't come. There we go. I talked a little bit about this. Captions are searchable. So you want to think of that SEO, search engine optimizing. What terms are couples looking for and typing in? Okay, so those are the kinds of things, you don't want it to sound artificial, but are they looking for a Chicago wedding planner? Okay, so that might be something that you put in there. Or Chicago, you could be talking about this incredible Chicago wedding venue and name it and do that. And first of all, that naming it shares it with the venue, but then that venue seeing it's talking about them in a very positive light and it's showcasing their wedding done, wedding at their venue beautifully done. they may want to share it as well, which gets you further exposure. Do you have a hook? What will grab their attention? And the phrase, stop the scroll. So often that's a question. Okay, but when you're thinking there and crafting those captions, what could grab their attention? And you see people say, do you want to know a secret? Or, you know, where most couples waste money on their wedding. Things like that is going to be like a hook that grabs their attention. Once again, tagging vendors, include that call to action. What do you want people to do? This is all in the caption. Okay. The other thing that's there, and I kind of glossed over it really fast, is you want to make sure this also share to feed. If you publish a reel, it's going to be shown under the reels. But unless you've got this checked off, it's not going to appear on your main feed. And you want it to appear on your main feed so that people who are looking at your profile page are exposed to this content as well. Because not everybody is going to go over to see, oh, here's their main feed, but let's take some extra time and go look at their reels as well. Okay. All right. This is a big one that I see a lot of people doing, and there's big no-nos. Okay. First of all, it only makes sense that if you create a video or reel on one platform that you want to use it on another. So for example, taking a TikTok video and putting it on Instagram, or taking an Instagram video to TikTok. I get it. I do exactly the same thing. Okay. It saves a ton of time. However, these platforms are in competition with one another. So if the watermark is visible on your video, the visibility of your content will be reduced or hidden completely. So if that TikTok video is posted from TikTok to Instagram and that watermark is there, Instagram is going to say, no, we're going to hide your video because we don't want to promote TikTok. And the other platforms do the exact same thing. So as I said, it's there, but you don't want that appear because once again, this is making your life more difficult. You're putting this energy into making this video. Take another 5 minutes is all it will take to get rid of the watermark. Okay, how you do that? Okay, you're going to go and here at the bottom. So if I open this up on TikTok, okay, there's 3 dots there. If I opened up a video on Instagram, those 3 dots are there. When I click on those 3 dots, there'll be an option to like copy link or share link. That's what you need to do first of all. Second thing, to remove the TikTok watermark, please note these are websites and not apps, but you want to go to savetik.app. So you type that in onto your main page, savetik.app, no spaces, it's a website. And basically you're going to be instructed to paste that link from that video in there, and then it will download the video and you can then save the video, but it will remove that watermark. So when then you post it on Instagram, you're not going to get penalized or punished for it. The same thing applies. There's a couple that I showed that had the Instagram watermark. So if I wanted to create it in Instagram and now go over to TikTok and post it, because I'm going to have the same issue, I go and it works exactly the same way, but now I go to saveinsta.app. It keeps the sound with it perfectly. You don't have to worry about that, but it removes that watermark and you just got to follow the instructions. Okay. And even if you're really stuck, you could probably Google how to use either of those apps and they'll walk you through it one step at a time. All right. I was talking to a group of people. They also want to save time on social media. So I'm throwing this one in really quickly. Try content batching. Okay. This applies to creating all content, not just reels. So if I'm going to be filming content, I try and think ahead of time, what kind of things might I want to talk about this month? Okay. Plan what you want to do in advance. It could be photos or videos. And then either I'm going to work with a friend, or I might be doing it on my own, or sometimes I might even hire a photographer to help me out. But I'm going to go and meet with them and try and do in 2 or 3 hours, multiple different things that I'll be using at a later time. The best part about this is you only have to do your hair and makeup once. This is probably more for women than men, but it could work either way. But usually most women spend a little more time on their hair and makeup if they're going to have to be on camera. Okay. So you get that done. You can do it. You can bring a couple of different outfits to change into and stuff, but you take those pictures or you film that video. Like if I was filming a reel and I knew that I wanted to do a couple of them, I could decide what I wanted to talk on, and I could film one 90-second educational reel, and then I could go change my shirt and go film another one and stuff. But I'm getting that content there on my phone. It doesn't mean I'm uploading it and creating the whole reel that day, but I'm setting that basis to get that content. Okay, to use at a later time. Reminder that you can save a reel, and on that last page, if there's an option to save as a draft, and that means it puts it in a folder and you can work on it later. To access the drafts on your profile page, you select the Reels tab that's usually in the middle, and it'll open it up and it'll be marked draft, and you can go back and then finish working on that reel. Whether maybe it's editing it, maybe it is adding the captions, or maybe you're just going to save the video and add it later. But try content batching. Okay, that can be really scary at first, but doing, as I said, making sure you only have to look camera ready once or twice versus having to do it multiple days. Okay, here's my top 3 tips for you. Be patient with yourself. Okay, remember your first attempt at tying a chair sash and how disastrous that was, and how you had to do a whole bunch of times to even get the 2 ends remotely close to one another, or when you tried to teach some of your staff to do that? Okay, how about that first bridal show booth you designed? I know myself, that picture is buried and I'm not sure I'm ever going to show that to anyone. But you have to start somewhere. Taking action is what is most important. No one is expecting you to be perfect. And I can guarantee, if I saw one of your reels that you were worried about, thinking you did a bad job, I will be able to find one out there that's worse. I promise you that. Okay. You can't, there's a saying, what is it? You can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 15. Okay. So this is a chance for you to step outside your comfort zone. And I know it's stepping outside your comfort zone, but it's better than not taking any action at all. Okay. The fact that you're trying it is showing that you're willing and you're making progress. And the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. Okay. Give yourself some grace. We are our harshest critics. Okay. But if it was your best friend, what would you say to them? Okay. Would you support them? Would you be encouraging them to try? Start being your own best friend and your biggest cheerleader. And finally, the only way you're going to get better is with practice. Okay. I'm telling you right now, when you do your captions and your hashtags, if you put the @ sign and then put I am Cathy MacRae, I will come and comment on your reel. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see you taking risks. And I'm going to give you a positive comment. I promise. Okay. But I'm going to encourage interaction and things there. Okay. At the same time, if you got a question, send me a direct message. Probably the fastest way is at the I am Cathy MacRae and stuff. But as I said, let me know. Okay. The other thing is, don't do this with a goal of going viral. Like, let's be honest. When you film your first reel, it's probably not going to get 1 million hits. I'm sorry to break that to you. Okay. But there's a phrase that, like, your goal is to connect with your ideal client or customer and get free advertising exposure, because that's what social media is. We don't have to pay for it. Okay. I do get that we worry about the numbers, but I'm going to give you a different perspective. Instead of worrying about getting millions of hits, worry about VFM, viral for me. That's when you look at your reels or your pieces of content and see what gets more traction. So for example, you could be doing reels and you might only be getting 20 views on them. Well, all of a sudden you'll post a reel and all of a sudden you'll get 600 views on your reel. And you're like, OMG, what happened? And you'll be so excited about it. And that is viral for you. Okay. Normally it's 20, we got 600. You can only imagine the one that hits over 1,000. Man, you're going to be doing cartwheels on that one. Okay. It's viral for you. The only person you look at is yourself. And how are you getting better? And they're not. I will post a reel and it might only get like 32 hits. And people we're sitting there going, what the heck? And looking at the insights. And then the next day you'll post one and you'll get 6,000. So there's no kind of rhyme or reason. As I said, I try to look what do people respond to? What do they like? I do really encourage people, keep your content, like especially on a business page or a profile, keep it to that. So yes, dog videos, and I love dogs, but dog videos can get lots of hits. But doing a reel on a dog video on your wedding planning page, maybe it's not the best thing because it's sending people who want to come to your account for dog videos. They're not going to gel with your wedding planning content because they're coming to you for dog videos. Okay, start a profile for your dog if that's what you want to do. But keep it wedding related as much as possible. Stories is good. You can post a picture of your dog or what you ate for dinner, but keep that stuff wedding related. Right there is just ways to contact me. As I said, probably the best way is direct message me at the I am Cathy MacRae, but there's my wedding site as well, Facebook's and things like that. So right now I'm going to stop the share and take any questions from people. Shelby, you're still muted.
Put your questions in the chat. It's just easier for us to monitor that way.
Oh,
Leslie, I saw your hand up. So
I'm seeing Desiree is already making money off Instagram. She's
yeah.
received 2 payouts. So that's it. I hope we get this in Canada soon. I really do. But I'm envious of you guys. So awesome.
Leslie, do you have a question? You don't? Okay. Anybody have a question? Put it in the chat.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. I have to tell you that.
I have a headache.
Sorry. I was trying to fill it in, give people stuff that they can use.
It's really good, but I have a headache. If no one has a question, I'm not going to hold you any longer. I'm going to end this recording.
Oh, I know we were just going to have to figure out how to do this. Shelby, do you want to, if anyone comes in with a question, but Shelby, do you want to tell them about next week?
Okay.
I'll grab the link right now.
Let me pause this recording.